Welcome back to week 8 of the HGC. Our first series of the day has already kicked off and we are underway. Right now, Fnatic is up 2-0 over Granit Gaming. I think an expected result is probably one of the best ways to describe that right now as we're moving into game 3 as Fnatic has continued to ramp up in skill and teamwork, and they are looking pretty darn good against Granit Gaming. However, Granit in game number 2 able to hang in there, moved into the mid game, kind of a big late game fight they had to take, or at least went into a fight with as they were trying to move towards level 20 and fell victim to them.
Definitely true, and to an extent I still have to question, why do you give your opponent 3 of the best heroes that we currently have? I mean, we talked about this composition be so dominant. It was 6-0 before this game. Now we have 7 wins and 0 losses with that Deckard, Urel and Diablo setup. But Granit Gaming at least made it look close and they played well here. But for me personally, I'm just happy to see that Fnatic is back in that role where a lot of people wanted them to be, where a lot of people expected them to be going into phase number 2. They really have to, they seem to have found their stride.
Yeah.
Now granted, they go up against opponents like Method still, Team Liquid as well, and they really have to prove themselves there. But this looks they look more like a cohesive unit that you would expect them to be than what we've seen in part 1 of phase 2. So I'm pretty happy with that development on their end. Granit Gaming is still showing signs of life, so they might be able to start and come back into this. But from here on out, it is going to be tough since you have to win 3 in a row if you want to turn this around.
That's right. Well, we're getting ready for Battleground number 3, and where exactly will we be going? That is the question. And the answer is here. We are going to Towers of Doom. Fnatic with the choice. Granit Gaming will be having first pick. I think one of the great things about Fnatic here in part 2 of phase 2 has been that they have been able to close out series. Remember, they had that 5-game series against Leftovers.
Yeah.
The only major series where they felt like they weren't fully on point with was against Dignitas, but nobody is doing great against Dignitas right now as they continue to shut you down, and yet still they were able to get 1 win. So it looks like the work is finally starting to pay off, which is what we've been asking for a lot of our teams. I mean, even Roll20 stepping up now with their latest victory. These are the things that we need towards the end of the season, and Fnatic is finally getting there.
Yeah, the Towers Doom is an interesting one though, because Fnatic has played 3 times in Towers of Doom and they lost 2 out of those 3 games. Seems to be a map where they just say, okay, we still feel confident there, we have maybe a new strategy, something that worked out in scrims for us, or they just say, okay, this is now the team where we can try and to improve that track record a little bit and also practice in an HGC setup a few of the things we want to use against other teams as well. Be it as it may, it's not the best map for Granit Gaming either. They have 2 wins and a loss here. But yeah, let's jump right into it and see who's going to grab especially their global again, because there's a very good chance that we're going to see either Abathur or Dehaka show up on this map.
Yeah, expecting more Sergeant Hammer bans from Fnatic. Could see that out of their ban. However, they are willing to move into Abathur themselves. Don't forget the first couple of times that we saw them play with Valier, it was usually paired with an Abathur.
Not only them, Valier was actually played by both of the teams on the Battleground.
That's actually true. The triple stealth from Granit Gaming. Oof. What was that, week 2?
Yeah,
Still
2-3, very early.
Speaking of Zeratul, Fnatic stays away from it. Banned out. That character's ability to just win a team fight based on proper placement is too hard to match. So Fnatic stays away from it.
Okay, Maiev is banned out again. So all the heroes that are really good at forcing engagers with Zeratul and Maiev are banned out for now, at least a few of them. And let's see what Fnatic is going to try and take rid of. I'm also interested in the first pick of Granit, to be honest. Okay, there's the Abathur ban. Dehaka is all of a sudden a very good option for Granit Gaming early on if they want to play around the global again. Would allow Fnatic to go into a setup with Diablo as a first. Yeah, there's the Dehaka. Urel, Deckard, Kayn, Diablo, Hanzo even. All heroes that we could expect now.
It's gotta be Urel Deckard, right? Although I prefer Diablo Deckard. It's just knowing the hero pool of Last Hope and when he likes to play with Battleground. He goes into Urel when he can. He does have a Malfield available for him too.
There's also Blaze.
Yeah, he's double on Blaze too.
Blaze, Leoric, so there's a few that he can definitely play. But why not pick Urel in this setup?
There it is. Murden Urel, actually.
Murden a little bit more flexible to create opportunities with a jump into a stun. That helps him out here. Don't have to play around Diablo in this case, but still locking in Urel for themselves is great. Again, Urel is by far the most successful hero in HGC Europe. Urel has a 66% win rate with more than 100 games played. That is absolutely insane for
bonkers.
66% is out of this world. The next successful hero is Diablo with a 58% win rate, and Diablo has only been played 60 times. So not quite half the amount of games that we've seen with Urel, but it's roughly in that area. So yeah, Urel is just fantastic.
She's pretty darn good. The pairing with tanks just allows her to excel with teammates and teamwork. I'm waiting on this ban here. What exactly do you want to take away here, Granit Gaming? Probably damage. It's going to be a Genji ban.
I just want to clarify also something. There's a couple of heroes that also have great win rates, but they don't have the sample size.
Yeah, the games was so ridiculous. 100 games?
Exactly. Like, for example, if you look at, I mean, just to throw a random one in here, Jaina. 10 wins, 5 losses, keeps her at 67%, but that's 15 games. Compared to the 100 that were played with Urel, there's a huge difference here in significance. So yeah, therefore, that's one of the reasons why Urel is so far at the top. With 100 games, that track record is great. But talking Jaina, there she is together with Ana. That was absolutely intentional, by the way. I totally saw that coming.
Well played, dude. You're a prophet.
Yeah.
Ana was played twice last week by Fnatic, actually. Mixing with Li Ming once. What was the second mage they mixed with? Never mind.
No clue on the top of my head.
Well, regardless, the idea is that you pick it up with a mage, you get that cooldown reduction coming in there, and you start shelling away. And Jaina with the machine gun build,
they got 1 win and a loss with her, so they are on a 1-1 track record with Ana right now.
What was it? I'm gonna look now.
Uther take it. So Hanzo together with Uther now definitely helps you to also mitigate some of that burst damage that comes out of Jaina herself, especially when Ana boosted here. So that's one way how you can deal with that. Fnatic, they still need that top laner. Blaze is an option for that.
It was
oh, my apologies. They had Urel, of course, already. Sorry, I mixed it up. Li Ming both times?
Yes, Li Ming both times, 1-1. You were right.
Junkrat again. Junkrat is played so much. Junkrat was played every single time in this series. And we had Junkrat also played basically every time in the series with Method versus the Monkeys. Same thing, to an extent where we even start seeing Junkrat bans here. So he definitely made his way back into all of this. And Junkrat right now, just looking at it, has been played 32 times, 33 times in Europe, 48% win rate. So it's getting up there. Always considering that Junkrat just recently started to see that much play, so it's really been ramping up. Like, his numbers are, in terms of quantity, not quite there yet, but you have to consider that Urel was played throughout the entire phase 2, whereas Junkrat just came in towards the second part a little bit more. And right now, he's really making appearances in nearly every second draft.
He's self-sufficient and volatile, right? Yeah. You don't have any mana, so you're able to keep up with the wave consistently throughout the entire game. And then you have the ability to find picks randomly. I mean, that's a great pickup based on placements when it comes to your mind, so.
I mean, there's a lot of Genji bans that are still happening, so you have a lot of mobility manned out. Maiev is oftentimes not really a part, so that makes him a bit safer. But yeah, Junkrat is a staple in the meta once again.
And we go. On the left side, Wolf Joe on Uther, Raid Boss playing Raynor, Memecraft on Hanzo, Nande on Garrosh, and Darkmok on Hacken.
Granit Gaming is 0-2 in this best of 5, and Fnatic starting here towards the right side. They have the lead with Mena in game 3 on Jaina the Frost Mage, Breeze on the Dwarf, Muradin is ready to kick some ass. Shrimpy, of course, on Junkrat this time. Smexy therefore finds himself on Ana, and we have Last Hope on Urel. And again, the hero pool overlap between Mena and Shrimpy really allows them in these situations to just flex things up a little bit. Now they are switching Junkrat over to Shrimpy. They have Mena instead on Jaina. He's just a bit stronger with that hero. And that allows them for a lot of flexibility.
And Nande gets deleted. 2 things I want to talk about here. Let's make sure that Breeze is able to get out. He does get away. First things is the Storm Bolt into a Sleep Dart, consistently popping here for Fnatic. This is one of the things they showed off last week, and they are fantastic at getting that quest done quickly.
Yeah.
Secondly, we had Garrosh actually tossed in the team fight of Fnatic, and you saw Breeze step up. If you ever have a Garrosh put out of position or is close to your support and you're a main tank, it is your duty to lay your body on fire, run towards that Garrosh, and allow for you to be tossed in. And that allowed for Fnatic to turn that around and take out Nande instead.
Ana was under a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
Not for Breeze, that could have been a kill for Granit Gaming, but with him stepping up and just denying that Ana could walk away, and they could turn the entire fight around. And you talked about the Stormbolt into the Sleep Dart and then the Jaina damage. It's a great combo, and oftentimes it's even offset, or it's even set up by a yeah, exactly that. A grenade from Mene, but this time it's not enough to save Last Hope. So it was a really cool attempt for Fnatic. Get the concussion grenade in there too. Oftentimes that's used to set up a kill for them. In this case, it was more of a defensive tool. It didn't quite work out though, since Granit Gaming was able to secure that kill.
Still, time was bought. A 5-man rotation in the middle, allow for Fnatic to get the Sapper Camp pushed in on the bottom lane. They're going to set up here and allow for Euro to respawn. Also get Jaina nice and tapped up when it comes to mana.
And you might also, since Ana doesn't really get too much played in HGC, wonder about the quest tunnel here on level 1 for her. It's the piercing darts, and you have 2 quest tiers. On the first one, after 10 hits, it's all about hitting 2 heroes and the range increase that you get. And then on level 20, you have now basically the same situation where, again, your range gets increased. So it's all about trying to be a little bit safer, staying farther in the background, hitting more heroes with your abilities. So this is why early on you're trying to ramp up as many of these stacks as you possibly can to at least get yourself to level 6.
I like to imagine when I pick up that talent that I'm like actually a sniper, and that every shot that I get all the way to level 10 is just increasing my experience. You know, getting sharper, getting better. It allows you to roleplay a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
You don't ever roleplay?
I've
Ever?
seen your abilities to snipe stuff and to be precise with these things, so
Yeah.
I can totally...
Because I'm learning every game.
Yeah.
And when I finish the quest, I feel empowered because you get that ding. It's all about the dings.
You get the ding, yeah.
Seriously, man. That sound is...
Well, he got 2 dings so far.
Wow, working on it. Just needs a few more. 8 more.
I mean, if he can get another ding, then he's going to be a 3.
Boom. That's all you need, man. Sound effects, and your gameplay is going up. Wolfcho goes in and gets an altar. There's one. Top left is being
That was an
disrupted.
important one, actually, because that means that Granit Gaming is now very likely to get 2 of the altars here. I mean, Shrimpy can still interrupt a bit, but the rotation is going to hit the top lane soon. So that's the exchange, 1 for 1, and it's all about the top left now. And yeah, Fnatic in the long run is going to lose this one.
Well, if Garrosh wants to rotate. Garrosh stayed bottom. Yeah, they're going to give it up. You're right. So 4 points awarded to Fnatic. Granit Gaming will get 8 as they grab 2 altars.
It's just a position that you really don't want to go into. So Fnatic is going to let this one go. Or they did. The one to fight for was really the one at the bot lane if they wanted it. But now it comes back to rotations and trying to get these opportunities, especially with the kill potential that you have through this placement. And that's true for both teams. Either through Garrosh on the side of Fnatic Gaming or Junkrat on Fnatic's side.
Now they're thinking about maybe moving in here on the Sapper Camp. You have to be careful though, with traps around, Murden able to hop around with the Stormbolts. You don't really want to force too many issues. Just looking for a couple ground breakers if anything.
Yeah, you also don't want to brawl too much right now if you're Granit Gaming. You want to give Fnatic too many opportunities to get more dings on Muradin and on Ana. Both of them are currently stacking. Muradin finds himself on 10, and we are seeing Smexy on 2 stacks. And there's also, of course, then also we consider Jaina and the damage output that Mene wants to get in here to get his own ice block.
Yeah, currently sitting at what, 900?
Yeah, so
damage so far,
which is really nothing. And in that sense, if you want to, if you are able to get that early completion on that quest talent, that would be really not a good thing for Granit Gaming in the long run. So you're trying to not give Fnatic too many needless opportunities to brawl here.
Fnatic is trying to give me a heart attack here, man. That's 3 times in a row now they've thrown Garrosh into their team. And I know they're trying to get him locked down, poke him as he tries to retreat, but that's something you gotta be careful with. At any moment, if Garrosh gets thrown in an incorrect way, you can drop that Indomitable, turn around, and toss any target in. Oof. No thank you.
Yeah, at the same time, Smexy is really very careful with the positioning here. You talk a lot about Garrosh being thrown in here, and of course, if he finds himself close to Ana, he's going to try and put her into a bad spot. But so far, Smexy is actually doing really well with the positioning. Got the 3rd stack now, is trying to get a few more. It's not easy for him by any means, but Fnatic is already slightly ahead in experience. With Last Hope going into the Divine Steed on 7, he's double soaking the lanes now against the Haka.
Hero rotating down. I'm going to try and at least get one of these altars. Wolfcho will get the bottom one. Second one being grabbed by Junkrat. And Fnatic should be able to get it. Red Boss thinking about coming up here and getting that auto attack in. Ooh, Last Hope with the last second knockback.
Yeah, but he might actually fall. And yep, he does. Next kill for Granit Gaming. Now, it was still a worthy trade in the sense that they get the altar out of it, so it's a 1 for 1 here. But Fnatic is very hesitant to fight too much too. They are really in a spot where they're saying like, yeah, we would really love to have our level 10 first before we go into any big fights. Just as that we have the nano boost ready, and so that we're getting the most out of Jaina's damage.
It's also where the builds start to come online too for
Yeah.
both Junkrat and Jaina. Q build coming on for both of them actually, being able to shell away on the damage, poke from afar. Jaina will be able to really knock out that damage too with that nano boost coming online.
5 stacks by now on Ana. 10 around the corner here. Granit with 32 points on their core against the 28. And the quest completed on Uthas is level 1. And there we have it. All right, heroic abilities. So that's really where a lot of the synergy for Granit Gaming also comes into play. The Hanzo arrow coming out, the isolation that you have. Would still expect Divine Shield over Divine Storm for Uther, simply because it can negate a lot of the damage potential and heal potential that Fnatic has with the nano boosted Jaina. So I would be very tempted to go into the Divine Shield here. But if they want to get a good CC chain going, I mean, there's an argument to be made for Divine Storm. I just really think it's not quite what they need here.
Their idea is they want to delete one target after a Garrosh throw and just completely lock them down with a taunt into a stun, benediction stun into a Divine Storm. Definitely can go that route, but it's a Hail Mary. That is for sure. Fnatic setting up for defense here on the bottom while Sappers head straight in to this bell tower. A couple go forward, but the ulters now to the top left and top right need to be grabbed for our team, so I should see them rotate soon. Wimpy comes over, looks for an opportunity to maybe get a mine, but nothing presents itself.
And Divine Shield has been taken by Uther as expected. Also, same goes for Jaina. She went straight into the Ring of Frost, which is the go-to talent in Europe still. Especially Mene absolutely enjoys to play around with Ring and trying to get these one-shots. And that's when Uther is really going to be crucial. He needs to be the one there in time, drop the Divine Shield, and so it could be a cooldown trade. And talking about trades, we have again also traded here. 28 against 24 points on the core. The teams are even in experience. Smexy has by now 7 stacks on his piercing darts on level 1. He's 3 away from getting the first reward here. Reese is sitting at 19 for the Storm Bolt, so he's missing another 6 before he gets the cooldown reduction on his auto attacks and the pierce. And both of the teams really playing a bit more of a calmer and just simply focused game than we saw in the previous two, where we had a lot more brawling happening.
Yeah. Shouldn't see anything too explosive until that pre-alter phase, which will be coming in, I believe, 2 more phases, if I remember correctly. We'll have 1 here on the bottom, and then afterwards we'll have the 3 alter phase, which then we'll see a commitment to a team fight. But really, if you look over to Fnatic, where does that commitment come from? Is it Yrel? Murden most likely going to be the one to force a fight, but he has to dive into a CC train that is available. I mean, look at Granit Gaming. You have Dahaka, Garrosh, you have a Dragon's Arrow, you have the stuns from Uther. There's a lot that can allow for them to delete anyone that may overstep.
I mean, there was even a chance for Breezeno to go for Garrosh, since Nanda popped the Indomitable a bit early, and I was expecting a Stormbolt there. There's another one coming out, which puts Breeze onto 21, so once he completes that talent, he is going to be so much more difficult here. 13 alone is going to be a great power spike for Fnatic, where healing static is going to give Muradin so much more wiggle room. Isolation coming out, but this should be... Oh, that drag was perfect! Great player by Nanda. It would have been easy defense here for Yrel, but that drag changed everything. Now the Divine Shield comes out to keep Raid Boss alive. Breeze is not following that up. Fnatic down 1 hero. Great play by Granit Gaming, and Last Hope just a bit too hesitant to pop his heroic.
Yeah, even with the arrow coming in too, he just couldn't see the arrow coming, so he couldn't drop the Ardent Defender on time, and you mentioned that Drac coming out too. It was too late, as he will fall, and Fnatic, even though they try to answer back and burn some heroics, were not able to get a kill themselves. And now we have Granit Gaming with a lead, 28-20 against Fnatic, and a slight experience lead as they hit 13 first.
Yeah, and the problem for Last Hope is really that the Ardent Defender is just such a cooldown heavy heroic ability. You really only want to use it when you know you're getting value out of it, but of course your opponent is waiting for it too and is trying to interrupt you there in time, and that's what happened. Again, the fight happening here. Nice, actually. Fnatic stealing the camp, defending their own, and now they're going in, and Dartmoor goes down. The Nana boost doing work here, as we are seeing Fnatic going for the kills. They already dropped the first one. They go for Nanda, and Garrosh dies a horrible death at the hands of Yrel here. Payback time.
Death by Thrall, death by Yrel. Life's not looking good for Garrosh, man. Gonna have another 15 seconds before we have members of Granit Gaming back, meaning there's only 3 here for defense, and Fnatic is hoping to open up the map. They'll take the turret to the south and get a couple of these sappers in. 1, 2, maybe 3. Yes, they get all 3 in. That puts the ultra down to half health. Meanwhile, Yrel soaking experience, while Fnatic takes a slight lead.
Yeah, not only a slight lead, Fnatic all of a sudden has a massive amount of momentum that they're trying to bring into the game here. And that makes things scary. This is one of those battlegrounds where you can drop a lot in the early game and simply through dominance in late game team fights start to turn everything around by establishing map control, gaining some of those bell towers, and then taking it from there. And that is what Fnatic is currently trying to do here. Smexy again with his sleep darts. He's at this point sitting at 10, so he just got the first reward, so he's now a bit safer in the back, has the extended range.
There's 2 heroes as well.
Oh, look at Urella at the top lane.
Yeah, she just got a bell tower with the Sabre that you got earlier. Big blow up coming out on Garrosh, and Domino allows for him to retreat, but Wolfjo does not use the Divine Shield, so he's low. Immediate pickup on top of this bell tower / altar. And
the arrow missed. The arrow was actually not too bad, but it was sidestepped by Fnatic, and that's a massive problem now. That's a lot of cooldowns that already got burned, and Fnatic is now in a position where they can make their play. Altars are getting exchanged. That's a 5 versus 3 shot trade in favor of Fnatic, putting Granit Gaming down to 23. And we have another one still in play. The drag connects again, but here comes Urel jumping in deep, providing the extra armor. Riptide comes out, gets the damage in, and there's the kill. Hanzo is down.
Ring of Frost connected, and afterwards we have the damage come out from Manny. He also gets the Ice Block too, and he is kiting on top of Raynor, putting more and more out as Uther is trying to provide heals to Raid Boss, but it's just not enough as he'll get picked. Urel hopping around on the backside too underneath that bell tower. A total of 3 picked up as Fnatic grabs a few more shots, and they are actually only 1 point behind Granit Gaming, as Granit Gaming has a score of 18 and Fnatic has 17.
Yeah, and they're all of a sudden immediately in the mid lane. They already took that bell tower top side, which is exactly why they got so many points off the Granit Gaming score. That was 10 points in that altar phase, and now they're grabbing another bell tower easily. Urel is trying to defend the top lane. That's where the Haka is attempting to at least recover one of the bell towers, but the bottom has now been taken too. This is Fnatic controlling the entire map and starting the barrage.
Finally, Granit Gaming takes back to the bell tower on the top left, but it's definitely hurting here, and they'll slow down the damage. 17 to 16 in favor of Fnatic now, but Granit Gaming is just trying to stop the bleeding. They are quite hurt by Fnatic. Fnatic is bringing the pain. Another Mind hits Nande, pulling him underneath the bell tower. Well, finally, Raynor gets here to start putting some damage there.
Map control is so essential here, and this is again what Fnatic is looking for. They gave up a few objectives in the early game, waited for their power spike, and now they're just dropping the pain. Mane completed his own quest as well. Not even talking about the level 1 here, his Fingers of Frost. Instead, it's the Frostbite that's really the important part. Getting that ice block is so powerful in the team fights. We just saw it before, how he survived against Jimmy just because of that. So right now, with a nano boost from Ana as well, the damage output of Mane is just absolutely there. The burst damage making it really difficult for Granit Gaming to survive through a team fight. The Divine Shield is just simply not enough.
Yeah. It's only one target, and the area effect damage here for Fnatic is huge between Jaina and Junkrat. He's Murden working in some here too. Boss was a quick focus here for Fnatic as they look to make sure no one's grabbing it there, but with Dahaka actually on the side, he was scouting it out. He gets caught. He gets thrown out by Nande, so Darkmonk may be able to survive. And we actually had Wolfjo, I think, grab the shot from the bottom.
Just as Dahaka thinks he's safe, Breathe jumps in and goes straight for it. Good stun against Shrimpy here. Riptide interrupted, but down goes Uther. And just as Granit Gaming was trying to come back into this with a bit more map control and reclaiming bell towers, Fnatic is putting an immediate stop to that thought process. Goes in, gets the double kill, moves on to the boss. Fnatic just dominant today.
Granit Gaming just needs to give this boss take a few more shots at the core. It'll put them down to 6, but they're still alive. And you get this bell tower back. Immediately, they'll jump straight on top of that bell tower. They actually have Garrosh in a position where he can try and grab Shwimpy, but Shwimpy's playing it safe, playing it slow, making sure not to get caught out. And 4 more shots go over to Fnatic. Granit Gaming was not able to get that bell tower back, and Fnatic is here for defense.
It's a level lead. It's 6 points on the core for Granit Gaming and 17 for Fnatic. They are looking absolutely fantastic here, and Granit Gaming is struggling to get a foothold in this game.
Where does that foothold come? Do they just go for an all-in Hail Mary play around the altar here? They can't even get their bell tower back.
I mean, they kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem is, if they don't win a team fight, how will they ever come back into this? They need to gain map control, and the only way you do that is by dropping a few of your opponent's heroes to play around the death timers. It's the only thing they can really do, and for that, they need to engage. The Hanzo arrows has to connect, and then the Haka and Garrosh have to step up. It's around the arrow, really, that they can make that play, but if that's getting negated, then they're in trouble.
Fnatic preps his lane 2 to add additional pressure. They'll have sappers pushing in on the bottom lane. Granit Gaming has been able to push up. You have Raid Boss in the bush to this left side, but with Bree steps up, he has to back away. Dahaka is going to be pivotal for Granit Gaming here. Has to come in at the right time and pincer maneuver with Nande.
Yeah, here's the moment now. Granit Gaming, Fnatic is on 19, Granit Gaming on 18. This is the time when you have to make your play. Nande, on the other hand, gets the Divine Shield. Arrow came out too. There's just too much happening here, but the damage output of Fnatic is absolutely crazy. Mainly with the nano boost is going in, and the reduction on the cooldown is also doing work. Darkmog nearly dropping, barely getting out. Saved by Nande as Fnatic is resetting.
Fnatic resets. Ana provides the heals. Uther using some important cooldowns to keep his team popped up too.
And also, the Mercenaries are still pushing through the bot lane.
Yeah, they're going through.
Granit Gaming could not react to it, and that's another 2-shot Spy here, down to 3. This could be game if that altar is won by Fnatic.
Darkmog steps up, he'll have a tongue available, but they have the damage. Nande gets blown up. Raid Boss is going to be next here too. Breeze even getting the interrupt on top of Uther. Raid Boss able to get a heal at the last second, but only 3 stand for Granit Gaming as Fnatic is pushing forward for a win.
Fnatic is going for the kills here. Arena goes down, they're going for Wolfjaw, and that's going to be the end of Uther. He dies, quick B-step, and immediately the move towards the final altar of the game as Fnatic is securing themselves a big win here on Playday 8 of HGC Europe. A 3-0 victory over Granit Gaming.